Good afternoon, everybody out there on the My BC Consulting Facebook page. It is Monday, 1 p.m., and that must mean it's time for another edition of Where in the World is ... a W5 story question, where I bring recent connections, long-term connections, and everybody in between, and I ask them the W5 story questions that begin with who, what, where, when, and why. Without further ado, who do I have on screen today?
My name is Kristy Frazee.
Thank you for joining me today. So Kristy
Sure.
Frazee, what 5 who hats you wear in this life?
All right, so my number one who hat is the matriarch of my little family, which is a family of 7. And so I'm the youngest of 5 sisters, and so the matriarch of my bigger family is not me and never will be. But for my little family, which is my husband Stephen, my 2 children Jamie and Jacob, and their spouses Brandon and Sarah, and I'm a grandma to a sweet baby girl whom I love.
So that's 2
big
2 who hats. What are 3 other who hats that you wear?
I am a business owner. I own Bear Creek Coffee in Ulysses, Kansas. I'm a community advocate. And my other who hat is I am a type 1 diabetic.
Ooh, so let's go into I'm going to go 3 this time because normally I only ask 2. So as a grandma, what are some things you like to do as a grandma?
Oh, wow. Okay, so my grandbaby doesn't live near me, so we go to visit her. We've decided our best vacation time can be spent hanging out with her at her house. So that's what we're planning. That's what we do. We also FaceTime a lot. We visit a lot. She calls me multiple times a week. And so that's super fun for me. And then we just play. We just play with her. She's 1. She just turned 1. So we're still finding our way, but it's pretty easy to love her and just watch her and share her with the whole world whenever I can.
I love that. So as a type 1 diabetic, what do you do in that role?
Well, for a lot of years of my life, I've been a type 1 diabetic for over 40 years. I was diagnosed when I was 11. Mm-hmm. And for most of my life, you would have never known that. And I would have never wanted you to. Mm-hmm. But in 2018, my husband and I began to believe there was more to our story. And if I would begin to live that life, if we together would begin to live that diabetic life out loud, it might make a difference for some people. And so since then, we've done that. I've identified as a type 1 diabetic. My husband is my caregiver. My family all participates in that caregiving. We've started a 501c3 just to help diabetics get the medication and the education, because there's a lot to know. There's a lot to learn. And it's expensive sometimes. So if we can help people get the supplies they need, and sometimes just, like I said, just living that life out loud, telling our story, and it's a lot of a story. It happened. And I had a sister that died at age 7 of type 1 diabetes, was undiagnosed. And so from that, we've had a family trauma that we've lived for many, many years. Part of the reason we never talked about it before. But now we talk about that, and we talk about her, and we talk about me, and how all of those, God brought all those things together to make a difference for people. So, that's one of my who hats, because it's important to me and to my husband, and especially, and to my sisters that, live through all of that. And so it's been important. It's been an important thing in our lives.
Love that. So as a business owner, you mentioned Bear Creek Coffee. So explain what do you do at Bear Creek Coffee?
We, at Bear Creek Coffee, the most important thing we do is serve our community. We want this to be a place, when I started it, I'm also a community advocate. So when I started Bear Creek Coffee, my husband and I opened it. We just wanted it to be a place where our community members and people could come and hang out. They could spend time together, quality time, quality conversations, good food, good coffee. And it's, we have people come, you know, we're have met that, you know, when I look out in the coffee shop and see it full of people, that does my heart good, because that's what we wanted. You know, it serves our community well. So
love it, love it. So you mentioned, once again, tell everybody where your coffee shop is.
My coffee shop is located in Ulysses, Kansas.
And in kind of what geographical area is that kind of on the world? Because I have people that are going to watch this from all over the world. So what part of the United States is that?
Almost right in the middle, smack dab in the middle of the United States. We're in the very southwest corner of Kansas. We're only about 30 miles from the Colorado border, 30 miles from the Oklahoma border. We're just right there in the very southwest corner of the state.
So when did you decide, Kristy, that you wanted to be a coffee shop owner?
Oh my goodness. We decided that in 2015. And I can tell you, was not interested in that. That was not my thing. I wasn't interested at all. And, you know, my husband and I started talking about things we could do for our community and how to sustain it in the future, you know, because he was traveling around seeing all these small towns. And he said, you know, I think the only way is if the people who live here, who have made this community their home, will step up and open businesses and give back to our community. That's what's going to sustain this community into the future. So we began looking for a business that we might want to do. My son, who at the time he didn't have a job. He was in and out of different jobs and it was crazy. And he's like, oh, I think I should open a coffee shop. And we were like, no, you have zero money. You're not doing that. No. But from that, you know, it was a couple months later, and I told Steve, and I said, what if we open a coffee shop? You know, we had that taste for good coffee. We liked it. We wanted it. And it just kind of grew from there. We started that in 2015. We bought the building we're in October of 2015, and we opened our coffee shop in March of 2016.
Wow.
No experience. We didn't have any experience. No coffee making experience, no restaurant experience, no business owner experience. It was a pretty steep learning curve for us, but you know what? We did it for our community and for the good of the people around us. And I think it's worked. You know, we've had to work hard, but it works for us.
And you had an endless supply of good coffee to keep you energized as you were on your learning curve. That's got to have something there, Kristy.
Yes, we have plenty of coffee.
Excellent. So, Kristy, what's your why in life?
You know, my why, you know, we have talked a lot. My why is to care for people. I want people to know, you know, obviously my legacy is not probably going to be a fabulous financial fortune or anything, but I'm hoping to leave behind a legacy of caring, you know, caring for the people, caring for the community, caring for the people who live in our community. You know, I want to save space for those people, whether it be in Bear Creek or just save time for my family. You know, I want to save space for them in my week where I can choose them. They are my choice, and I will go to them and spend time with them. You know, I think ultimately gathering people together and caring for them, having them a comfortable space where people are comfortable to come in and just be who they are. That's what I want. That's what I want to leave behind for everybody.
Absolutely beautiful. Wow. And I failed to ask you, where did the name of your coffee shop come from?
Well, you know, Bear Creek is it's a creek that many years ago ran through Grant County, which is the county that we live in here. And my husband's family homesteaded on that many years ago. They homesteaded on Bear Creek. And so there was a lot of history there. We've got all throughout our coffee shop, we have a lot of things with history that have to do with Bear Creek, when it flooded, and pictures of the floods, and a lot of different things like that. But it was his family homesteaded there in dugouts, many years ago. And so that's where it just came from that.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing a very small portion of your unique to you W5 story today with the people that are going to be watching this on my YouTube channel, my Facebook, up on Instagram and LinkedIn. I encourage you all to look up Kristy and Bear Creek Coffee. We'll make sure we'll put a link down below so you can find her, or if you've got friends or family, send it on over. You're driving through the area, make sure, because when you can gather over a cup of coffee, it's a good day. It's a very good day. So again, thank you so much for joining me today. Tune in next Monday for another edition of the Where in the World Is ... a W5 story session. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.